don't like it. It's no numbers. There's no pictures. There's no videos. There's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Today, Dreamers, we're going to be getting to another video about Palia. Now, I know I did a similarity video last time. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to be looking at the differences between Palia and Free Realms. Now, there are a lot of differences. We're going to be looking at 10 of them, just like the last video. We're going to be looking at 10 differences I have personally noticed in Palia that, to Free Realms. And, it's going to be a wild time. There are a lot of differences. I know there are some people that have said, hey, this game is not exactly like Free Realms. True, but it does fill that void for me. It fills that void regardless of it not being exactly like Free Realms. You're not going to get that type of game, You're not going to get a one-to-one version of Free Realms unless Free Realms Sunrise comes out, which at the moment is not out. So, we're going to get into these differences between Free Realms and Palia. And yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's just get into it. Let's go, dude. Let's do it. Yeah. Palia. Let's go. All right, starting at number 1 for the first difference in Palia that, to Free Realms, is clothing. Clothing is a huge difference. So, obviously in Free Realms, you had a lot of different clothing options. That was the main deal. You had so many different clothing options. So many I can't even count. There's a ton of items in Free Realms that you could wear, and you had different outfit swaps that you could do for your jobs. It got crazy. Now, Palia is very different into the ways of like putting on outfits, putting on clothes, and also how you can earn them. You can't. Pretty much you can't. How Palia's clothing system works, it is very, very simple, because how Free Realms worked was you could earn your rewards. You could also, not only could you earn your rewards, you could also buy them from the SC shop, you can buy them from clothing shops, etc. You can buy them from many places. Now, I will say that besides all of that, I completely forgot what I was going to say. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're doing this off the cuff. We always do my videos off the cuff. It's how it works. But with Palia, there's a very big difference. You don't get to earn your clothes. All the clothes you get your starter clothes. And then you get to, you have microtransactions as well. So that's pretty much it. That's all you get. So basically how the clothing system works is you can buy some stuff from the shop if you want to, which I do recommend doing. Support your devs, right? Support your devs. Do it, please. I still have microtransactions sitting in my inventory, so I've spent $40 for the devs, but I did buy this, and you can rock a variety of colors, but I prefer the blue and the orange. It just chef's kiss. It just looks so good. Now we'll get into how the clothing system looks. So this is how it looks. You can swap a bunch of stuff, kind of like how Free Realms was. It's actually a little more in depth than Free Realms, because Free Realms, how it worked, once you kind of set your character's looks and all that, you couldn't really change that afterwards. In Palia, you can. So you can do that here with hair. You can also do like face masks, which I'm pretty happy with my glasses. We could we could rock those, but obviously not owned. But you do get some starter clothing. There are some. The glasses are one of them. That is starter clothing. This is part of the referral link reward thing, so I got that as a referral. And again, you do have a lot of starter clothing. There is a lot you can wear. Not a ton, but there is a lot. There's a lot of base stuff. And then obviously you can go and purchase some stuff from the microtransaction store. I forgot what it's called. I don't know if it has an actual name, but I call it the microtransaction store. And I also have the referral thing right there. And then there's bottoms. You can wear some bottoms. There's plenty of them to wear. Again, you can only get the clothing or more clothing from microtransactions. There is no other way to get that stuff, which I think is personally fine. I don't mind not earning that stuff, because there is other stuff in the game you can earn. So, and then you can get some tattoo, some makeup here for your skin. You have glider skins that you can... We'll get into that in a second, but that is another thing. Imagine waving on the glider. But yeah, that is how the clothing system works. It's pretty simple in Palia. There's nothing crazy. I can't move. Oh my god. Help. But, yeah, premium store. I'm calling it the microtransaction store because I want to. But, yeah, that is how the system works. It's very different compared to Free Realms. Very, very different. Because you could earn your clothes in Free Realms. There was a variety of clothes you could wear. It was really complex, and you could also buy your clothes anywhere you wanted to via SC or via the coin shop. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but that is the main difference between Free Realms and Palia for clothing. So, let's get into the next one, shall we? Let's do it. Now, Preemers, we all know there's one thing that, you know, Palia has that Free Realms does not. And I don't think Free Realms really had this for me. The game being cozy. I don't think Free Realms was ever cozy for me. Free Realms had some challenging moments. Regardless, there were some times where I would just like wander around the map and do that pretty much. But I never felt cozy playing the game. Now, excuse me, Snick, get out of my shot. All right, I'm monologuing. Okay, I think that is a clear difference between Free Realms and Palia. Palia is more cozy than Free Realms. I get a more cozy vibe when I'm playing this game. I don't know about you, but I feel that way. I do. I really do. And maybe it's because I haven't played Free Realms in such a long time, but I imagine playing Free Realms like now, I don't know if I'd feel cozy playing it. I really don't. There's no way to tell if I would feel cozy playing this game, you know? But this guy's still outside. I'm gonna... Oh. But the game is very cozy, you know? You got your own... There's a library, dude. I don't think Free Realms has a library. No cozy... Like, no... A cozy game would have a library. Free Realms does not have a library. I don't think Free Realms... Like... Dude, I really do believe that this game is cozier than Free Realms. I want to say it because I just feel it. I feel the cozy, dude. Just walking around. You need to get off my... Hippity hoppity, get off my property, brother. Get off. Get off the property. Not listen. I hate that guy so much. He's my next door neighbor. I hate him. But yeah, there is a... I don't know. There's a more cozy vibe with it. That's a book. There is a more cozy vibe with Palia than Free Realms. I think that's a very clear difference just because of the community, the social aspect of the game. There's so many factors into it. I think it being just the vibe of the game, just walking around, it feels cozy. And even looking around, I get cozy from this game. I don't know about you. Dude, I'm tempted to just put on a hoodie, right? And grab some popcorn, vibe. Maybe make some hot chocolate, dude. I'm gonna vibe. I'm gonna vibe with this game. It's just, it feels more cozy. So that is a clear difference between Free Realms and Palia. I don't think Free Realms has that cozy feel. Maybe in some parts, but I do think Palia is 110% cozy. Moving on. All right, so another clear difference between Free Realms and Palia is house expansion. Now, I did touch on this a little bit in the similarity video, but I do want to go over it here because there is actually a place to get your expansions. Right here. Look at that. It's a little writ icon. Mr. Ken Lee, how are you? Are you going to ignore me? Of course you are. You're going to ignore me. How dare you, sir? Excuse me. Can I get past? Oh my. Oh my. Oh, Kenyatta. Oh, I get to talk to her today. Man, what a dream. What a dream, you know? We're almost going steady. We're almost there. But this is the, like, I guess you can call this City Hall to some extent. You can call it City Hall. I think that's actually... Is that what it's called? Where am I? City Hall, yes. So this is where you can get your house expansion done. I'm probably going to talk to Kenyatta. I'm going to.
Going better than mine.
Hopefully you have something interesting to say. I'm so bored. Are you? You know, you're probably one of the only cool people that drops by City Hall. True. Based. I mean, most people just want to look at old records or get permits for things. Well, that's kind of what I'm here to do. Like, come on, total snooze fest. Plus, you know, we're getting there. What do you want this week, by the way? I might be playing this week at some point, like full on, but what do you want? Want a dragonfly? Do I have one on me? I'd catch him. Oh, I don't think I do. I haven't.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. But if you open the store here, this is actually, I'm gonna buy a writ right now, and we're probably gonna go turn that in because why not? Why not? Let's do that. Might turn that in off stream, but or off video. Sorry, sorry about that. Anyway, you can actually buy different. I can actually purchase that. Crazy. You can actually buy little expansions to your house. You can buy a large room, you can buy a small room, you can buy a medium room, buy hallway section, fireplace add-on, gazebo, windmill, harvest house. There's so much you can buy. But this is one thing you can't do in Free Realms. You can't expand your house. Like, what you get in your lot in Free Realms, that's all you get. You can add, like, blocks onto it and expand it that way. That's all you're getting, though. In Palia, it's more advanced because you can, clearly, you can add on to it. You can add stuff onto the game, and you can add stuff onto your house and make it look cool. You can make it look inviting, and people will be impressed by what you've made. You can invite people to your house, which is another, I forgot to mention that. It's another similar thing. You can invite people to your house. People can come to your house. Anyway, but yeah, that is a huge difference between Free Realms and Palia, is there is no expansion in Free Realms, but I thought I'd point it out, and I'll probably, you know, add that writ to my, I'll add that writ to my house later, but I did want to show it off because that is a huge difference between Free Realms and Palia. Anyway, moving on. All right, so obviously this is an obvious one. The difference between Free Realms and Palia here, there is no combat in the game. Now, the only thing you can count as combat is hunting. Now, I'm a pacifist in this game. I do not hunt. We are kind of going hunt free. I might do, if I am going to hunt, it would be Cernux. I'm not hunting Chappas. You know, they are protected species in my eyes. They're too cute. They're too cute to hunt. But you have the option to hunt if you want to. There are plenty of ways to hunt. There are Chappas right there, but I love them to death, so that will not happen. You know, if we could find I don't even consider bug catching to be combat, because it's basically Pokemon, but there is no combat in this game. It is 100% combat free in terms of, like, you know, talking about the that aspect of the game, because Free Realms had a lot of combat, so much combat, like different instances of combat. They had open world combat. There was a lot of combat related things happening in that game, and you know what, I did appreciate it. But this is a nice change of pace for Free Realms to have a game without combat, you know, not being the same old generic MMO that comes out every year that just fails after 6 months. I mean, am I wrong? I'm not wrong, but yeah, there is no combat in Palia, which I think makes it very different from other MMOs, and it makes it a great MMO to play. But anyway, that is that's the one difference between Free Realms and Palia. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. We need to keep going. We need to keep going. We need to dive all the way in. All right, coming in at number 5 is NPC Interaction. So, obviously you could talk to NPCs in Free Realms, but not quite. You could grab quests from them, but that was about it. The NPCs in Free Realms did not do much. There was barely any interaction. They moved around a little bit, but the way Palia's NPCs work, oh, it's just so good. It's so good. Now, there's a lot to the NPCs in Palia. For example, Einar, my best friend, my guy, my dude, my pal.
Do you wish to engage?
How can I be of service? The Mageria, known as Eloisia, came to see me today. She seems to believe your kind has been hiding underground for 10,000 annual cycles. True and real. I did not correct her. There didn't seem to be much point. She seems to find much enjoyment, perhaps even oneness, in her amusing falsehoods. True. Now, the one thing that is very different about Palia's NPC interaction is not only can you talk to them, you gain friendship or relationship bonuses, which we'll get into in a second, but also you can visit their store if they have one, which Free Realms did have. You could go to shops, I guess, but you could also give them gifts. So, like, for example, we'll just do this live because I was going to give this to Einar anyway. Large shiny pebble. The lack of symmetry of this pebble is quite amusing. I believe it would not roll very well, even on the smoothest surface. So you can give him that, but also you can learn what the villager wants this week. So let's say you give someone a villager a gift and it's not what they want for the week. You can still give them a gift and they might accept it, but you can also learn what they actually want and you can go and find it. So you do this and Einar goes, I have been looking for a particularly rare silver salmon to act as a companion. So let me know if you spot one. So you go and look for the silver salmon, you give it to Einar the next day, the next real-time day, and you'll get yourself, like, you'll actually gain more, like, relationship status with Einar. And it's very cool. Now, the NPCs do move around, actually, like Free Realms. I don't know, like, they actually move around the map, not like Free Realms, because I think Free Realms is, like, back and forth. But the difference here is that they move all over the map. Like, there's a ton of NPCs. I've talked to them all. They move all over the map. They're constantly moving. And it's a lot to take, you know, it's a lot to keep track of. But they are constantly moving. They sleep on their own when it's time to sleep. They wake up on their own at the right time, and they go to their posts. Which I think is just wild to me. It's bonkers, and they do their job. This is a functioning village of NPCs, and it's crazy. Now, the thing with relationships is you gain relationships by talking with people, giving them items, etc. Now, there are different types of relationships, so there are friendship levels with most of this, like with pretty much all of the villagers and NPCs. But with certain villagers, you can actually have a relationship with them, which Einar has a relationship tree, which I don't know if I'm going to get into that. Not sure. Unsure. I think I want to be friends with Einar, strictly friends, but then you got like Eloisa, friendship, Hassian, you can unlock romance. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. Hecla, you cannot. Hodari, you cannot, sadly. That's real sad. Jell, you can have a romance thing with. Gina, you can have a romance path. Ken Lee, you cannot. Kenyatta, working on it, actively working on it. I mean, Kenyatta, we're going to go steady. We're going to go steady. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Nayo, you can have a romance path with. Jumi, you can't. Reth, you can have a romance path with. And then, you know, the list goes on. You can have a romance path with Tamala. Tamala, I would not recommend. Tamala's kind of... I think she's going to cook me up and eat me. I'm not going to lie. Tish, you can also have a romance path with. And Zeki, you cannot. But, you know, this is a very cool system that Free Realms did not have with NPCs. Is you can form these relationships. And I think Free Realms not having that system is probably because there were too many NPCs. But, you know, I could be wrong. But I think it was like a main thing that, you know, Free Realms probably should have had a system like this. I think it's really cool because it adds to that social aspect of the game. It's just super neat, dude. It's super cool. And I think the NPCs in this game are phenomenal compared to any other NPCs I have seen. Like, this is on a level of almost like Hogwarts Legacy with all the NPCs going around the map and appearing in different spots. So, yeah, I think it's really cool. But that is a huge difference between Free Realms and Palia. So there you have it. And on to the next one. Why not? Let's go. Come on. All right. Coming in at number 6 is map size, layout, and locations. So, obviously, Free Realms had a way different map. Way different. Like, it was a lot bigger than Palia's map is. And obviously, like, you know, you could explore the entire map. Like, it was so huge to explore, and you could go to a lot of different locations. And Palia is very limited to where you can explore, where you can go, etc. So in terms of map size, let's just start with that, just to get a glance at this. The size of the map in Palia is basically, I would say, the size of Sanctuary. So, like, starting with Kalima Village, like, this whole main area is, you know, the home of, like, Palia. This is like the size of Sanctuary, basically, in the area surrounding Sanctuary. That's how I would compare that to Free Realms. It's not like crazy huge. It doesn't go super far out, and I don't think it needs to, really. It doesn't need to, you know, compare to Free Realms at all. It doesn't need to go far out. Like, I think the smaller the map, I mean, that's, you know, the game can run more smoothly and have less hiccups along the way. Now, the layout of this map is also different as well. There is a lot of differences in the map. It just looks complete. The art style is different. It's just a different map overall. And there's also a bunch of, like, you know, just like Free Realms had its like individual like little locations that you could go to, like Greenwood Forest or Stillwater Crossing, like different like locations like that. Although I don't remember a lot of them off the top of my head, and some of them I might have butchered. There are a lot of different locations here you can go to that are really cool, like Maji's Hollow. There's like a statue there that you can go to and you can pray at. Choppa Crossing, which I don't think there's a lot of Choppas there. I could be wrong. There's Amara State. There's Remembrance Garden, which is super cool to go to. There's Leafhopper Hills, Gillyfin Cove, Pond Ruins. There's a lot of different locations. And then even, we're not going to go to Bahari Bay, but Bahari Bay is like, you know, I'd compare that to Sunstone Valley, in which it's an expansion to the map. And I think that's how Palia is going to do its map expansions, because there is another area right here that you can't go to. It's kind of blocked off. But, it is definitely like, that's definitely going to be an area you could go to next. I don't know where else they're planning on, you know, adding areas into. Basically, wherever you can find areas that like aren't added in yet, that's where I would suggest like there's going to be an additional area added onto. Now, Bahari Bay is probably the biggest part of the game. This isn't even like, this isn't even that huge. Bahari Bay is this like, you know, it's massive. Like there is 2 parts to Bahari Bay. There was like this one half of the map, and there's another half of the map you could explore. Now, the thing about Bahari Bay, which is the most, I think, similar to Free Realms, is the beach areas. The beach areas are like seaside. You can look at it and go, this kind of looks like a mix of seaside and Black Spore. They look very similar, but overall, I mean, there's not too many similarities with the map. If you're trying to compare it to Free Realms, there just isn't. It looks really different, but I don't know. I do like the feel of it, and the fact that the map is a little bit more interactive. Now, you can't actually teleport on the map like you would Free Realms. Like Free Realms, you could teleport all over the map. You can't here because obviously what would be the point? I mean, there really isn't. It's a small map, but you can return home. That is an option. However, once you return home once, you have to wait 30 minutes before you can do it again. So that is a big difference, is that you can't teleport anywhere you want to. It's not even that tedious to walk over the map to like go to Bahari Bay. Like, I don't mind that. Who is this? Have I not talked to Tao? I thought I've talked to Tao. Apparently I haven't. Apparently I'm just dumb, dude. Apparently. Anyway, that is that's another difference between Free Realms and Palia. So let's move on to the next one, shall we? Okay, number 7, live events. So this is one thing that Palia does not have at the moment. I don't know if it will have live events. The one thing that Free Realms had was live events. We had like, hi Kenyatta, hi, how you doing? Anyway, we in Free Realms we had these like, we had some crazy live stuff. Like we had various different events. We had so many things going on, man, for live events in Free Realms. We had, I believe we had an in-game concert, which I think was really cool, like from the Dares It's Your World performance. Obviously, I think some by a different person, but I think it was really cool. And there were snow days, which is probably my favorite event out of all of them. There was also like there was the Halloween event, there was the Valentine's event, there was probably an Easter event. There were so many different live events in Free Realms that I think it would put any game like, you know, that has live events to shame. Maybe not Fortnite, probably Destiny, because Destiny only has like, at the moment, 4 live events, I think, a year. So not a lot. But I will say, like, you know, I think Palia will have live events at some point. I think like that's a very possible thing, with it being a cozy MMO. And, you know, with the Switch release being in the, you know, winter of 2023, there's a good chance we could get a like a holiday-themed event. And I think that would be really fitting. You know, snow on the ground, it being, like, it's snowing everywhere. It just screams cozy to me, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Zaya, you're in my shot. Don't make me get out the axe. thought. Back off, Zaya. Think I won't? You think I won't? Get out of here, dog. All right. yeah, I'm frustrated. But anyway, I do think like Palia will get into the, the starting of live events. I think like, again, holidays is definitely one they could start. It would be very fitting, and there also is like there is some weather physics in the game, so it's not impossible for them to do like snow. I don't think. I could even see them doing rain at some point to make it cozy, but like they could also do Halloween. They could do a trick-or-treating thing where you go to players' houses and you give them some candy or something like that, or something along those lines. There's also tons of events like Valentine's Day. Dude, that's like the perfect cozy event, I feel like. I could see, NPCs wanting a Valentine or something like that. Like, I think it's very possible, and I think it's, it's not out of the question for live events to be a thing in Palia. We'll see what they end up doing. I'm more predicting there will be a holiday-themed event in the near future. If not this year, probably next year, because Palia is in beta. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is one difference that, Free Realms definitely has more live events, and Palia obviously doesn't have any at the moment. So, yeah. On to the next one, shall we? All right, coming in at number 8 is the glider in Palia. Now, there are a lot of games with gliders, namely Genshin Impact and Legend of Zelda, I believe Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. They both have it. But Palia has also introduced the glider as well. Now, Free Realms did not have a glider, I don't believe. I know, in terms of like what Free Realms had, it had like mounts and it had flying mounts, but they didn't fly that high off the ground. Now, I think if my memory serves me right, you could like go off a cliff and you could somewhat glide with the mounts. I could be wrong about that, but and again, correct me if I'm wrong about that. But there is something on the map I do want to point out, and you will see this in Pari Bay as well. There are stables in Palia, so I think at some point, along with the addition of the pets right here, there is a good chance that we will get mounts in the future. That's why I didn't really include this as like a clear difference, because there's no telling if we're going to get mounts or not in Palia. So, but I don't believe Free Realms ever had a glider. I don't think that has ever been a thing. I think like there's been like certain like, similarities to there being a glider, but at the moment there is no glider. Like at the moment, I say at the moment, but like Free Realms is dead. Back then there was no glider for Free Realms. There might have been like variations of a glider or ways that one would, glide, but at the moment nothing compares to what Palia has right here, which is really cool. And you could, you could find a cliff to go off of and you can just glide forever. Pretty cool. Pretty neat that gliders exist. This is a very, I wouldn't say it's a big difference, because I don't think people thought of gliders until Legend of Zelda came out. It's the same thing with what we're going to get into next, which we might as well jump into right now. Let's go ahead and do it, shall we? All right, coming in at number 9 is climbing. So climbing, again, it's another thing like I think Breath of the Wild and Genshin Impact have definitely, I don't know if Genshin Impact has climbing. I know Breath of the Wild is probably one of the first games to introduce it, and it's very, very, like, it's not something I'm used to because I never played Breath of the Wild. It's not so... Yeah? Alright. It's not something that I ever use in a video game. I'm not, like, a huge, big fan of it, but we are going to try it here because why not, dude? Again, this is something I know for a fact Free Realms did not have. Now, not only can you climb for, like, this amount of time, but you can also jump. However, it will make you, like, it will make your jump run out, and you will have to, like, get your stamina back, but it is very cool. Gwyneth, you're my shot. Can you get my shot? Thank you. But yeah, that's how climbing works. And again, Free Realms did not have it because I don't know how hard it would be to add those mechanics. It's just, it's all dependent on the devs making the game. So climbing's pretty cool, man. I do really like it. If Free Realms, I think for Free Realms, it probably would have been the perfect thing to add for that type of game, but who knows. Now, you can't actually, I don't know if there's a way to get more stamina in Palia. I don't think there is yet, but it would be cool to get more of that stamina, or like have a way to increase how much stamina you can have. I don't know, but that is our second to last difference, and it's again, it's kind of like the gliding one, where it's not something that anyone would, you know, think of adding into the game. But let's get into this very last one. All right, coming in at the last difference between Free Realms and Palia, number 10, deep lore. Now, obviously, Free Realms has a lot of lore. It has, dude, it has almost too much. It's got a lot of lore. There's the comic books, which are outside of the game. They're outside lore. And then there's in-game lore that you can go into. There's a lot of story that goes into Free Realms. Now, Palia, at the moment, being in open beta, it doesn't have a lot of lore. However, I will say that I do have some lore here that I do want to read, and you know, it's very good, so we'll go ahead and read it. And funny enough, I actually found that lore here. All the lore that I have found so far in Palia is in this area. It's part of a quest that you can do. You'll find one of the entries down there, and then going through this little ruin, you'll find another, like, somewhere. There's like there's two different entries, but we're gonna go into them right now. I'm gonna read this to you guys. The entry is as follows. We have been here too long. Without the sun, I cannot say how long. I simply know it has been too long. You can tell by the looks on others' faces. Hunger, fear, anger. They are being consumed by emotion. They have left us with more questions than answers. So the only response is fear. I sit here, waiting, wondering. I wonder whether you made it to one of the other temples in time. I wonder whether those temples help us at all. I wonder when we will see each other again. Dear Glauca, if you're reading this, know the one thing I do not wonder about is our love. No matter how angry the others here get, it is that love that keeps me grounded. I hope somehow or another that you can feel it too. We will meet again one day. Alba. So those are two official lore entries that have been written by the team. It's not super deep lore, but I do know, like, the story of Palia is going into, like, it's trying to dive into what happened to the humans, how did they disappear, and how did they come back, that sort of deal. Because there has to be a way, obviously. There has to be a way, right? But yeah, it's not super deep lore. I don't know how deep it's going to get. I don't think it's going to touch Free Realms at all, but I think, like, that little lore entry is very, very cool. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but I do think, like, that is a huge difference right now between Palia and Free Realms, is that Free Realms had crazy deep lore and an actual, like, fleshed out story that you could read in, like, TCG cards, you could read it in comics, you could read it basically anywhere from quests. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing, but those are the differences between, or 10 differences between Free Realms and Palia. If you guys have any differences or any similarities that you want to bring up, please let me know. I'm sure there's a bunch I missed, but those are the ones that I have just caught with, you know, with a little, you know, I saw them with a glimpse of my eye. I saw little similarities and differences here and there, but yeah, these were the differences for Palia. But that's gonna be the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.